in the last couple of years or so, and especially in the last year, Google has made it a point to have what is called this page experience update. And so, which it can be confusing in terms of what that is. I'm going to share a training with you that I think would be beneficial to everyone so that you understand more specifically what that actually means. What is a Google page experience update? And more importantly, why do you care? So let's get right into it. So how do you prepare for this page experience update? It did roll out globally just this past August. So not that long ago, not even a year ago. It took some while, but August, September timeframe is really when the Google page experience update rolled out. So, you know, in terms of thinking about what this is and how it really impacts you in a number of different ways. So, you know, we all know Google dominates the search engine market share over 90%. So we know that Google is the dominant search engine. 89% of consumers conduct online research. Still, again, if you aren't on board with how the impact of what SEO is or can have on your business, these numbers should really kind of help sort of understand that to a large extent, to understand that not only does Google process 167 billion searches a month, 94% of B2B companies do some sort of online research before making a buying decision. So for anybody that thinks B2B and SEO don't work, that is completely nonsense. So absolutely, I want you to make sure you have at least those stats or that understanding in place. So what does it mean to have an amazing website experience? So I've seen definitely in all of my 18 years of doing SEO, I've seen all kinds of websites. I've seen some pretty spectacular looking websites that do poorly from an SEO standpoint. I've seen some really hideous, ugly websites that really do well. Now, with this page experience update, there are a number of things that Google is starting to really look at and focus in on. Those things are, is it useful? And then that's kind of vague, but it has to fulfill a specific customer need and cater to their circumstance. That's a little bit more specific, but if you really kind of take a step back, what it is you do, how you serve your customers, your clients, what is it that you do? And is that message conveyed in your website? From the time they get to the homepage throughout the website, they should know exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And they could find it useful or beneficial because there is content there that is serving a need or providing a solution to their problem or an answer to their question. So these are the things that are really, really important. Is it usable? Is your website easy and intuitive for all audiences? It may not be. And if it's not, you really want to take some evaluation, take some time to really think through, what does that actually mean? You know, is it usable? Again, just look at your Google Analytics to really kind of understand, are the visitors flowing through from one page to the next? Are they getting stopped in any place? If it's not easy or intuitive, and especially you can know that by looking at the navigation in your website, is it obvious when they go to your navigation of where they need to go next, based on who they are and what their specific challenges or their issues are? That's how you would know that. Is it reliable? So again, is the content accurate? Is it trustworthy? Is it written from an expert's perspective? Is it functional? So can it be accessed? So accessibility is a core component to the overall page experience update. From an accessibility standpoint, we have to think about, can a screen reader access this? If somebody who is visually impaired, can they access your website? So that's the functional aspect. And then the trustworthy, as I mentioned, SSL certificate, but they should also, your visitors and potential customers should find that the content in this website is very credible. So if you can just knock off all of those things, check mark all of those boxes, then you're on the right track. If you feel like any one of those is not hitting the point, that's the time where you need to take a time out and really kind of think through what it is you're actually doing. 88% of online customers are less likely to return to a website if they have a bad experience. Think about your own search experience. If you have a horrid experience on a website, will you ever go back to that website? And the only one that has the answers that you need, but otherwise, with all the other competition out there, why would you bother? 75% of online customers admit to making judgments about a company's credibility based on the company's website design. So again, it could be ugly, but if it's, you're going to get those that will judge a book by its cover. And so if it's likely not functional, usable, useful, or reliable, you could fall into that camp. So why take a chance? Maybe this year is the year to do website redesign. And if you do, these are the things that you absolutely need to be speaking to your website developer about. You've got to make sure that you have all of those criteria in place, but you got to make sure that it's also mobile friendly for sure. So it should be a responsive website. It should be user friendly. And whoever is incorporating the content in the site should absolutely be making sure that content fulfills all of those things. Is it useful? Is it valuable? Is it credible? All of those things. So there's 5 factors that contribute to a website's page experience. Number 1 is Core Web Vitals. I won't go into depth and detail on it too much, but just to say there are a number of evaluations that Google goes through to really determine the viability, page speed, how long a page, the time it takes it to render and view all the content on the page itself. Mobile friendliness for sure. If by now your website is not mobile friendly, well, that should be definitely priority 1 for whatever point in time that you're watching this. That should be your first priority in the next 60 days for sure. Safe browsing. That's really, again, you want to make sure that you have that safe browsing as part of your overall experience. HTTPS, secure, as I said, SSL, intrusive interstitial content. So what that simply means is if, and there are a number of large corporate websites that have this experience, but if you are on a perfect example is if you're on your mobile phone, you're searching Google, you click on an article in the search results, you pull the article up and all of a sudden an ad pops up or a big pop-up, which is above the fold. I can't even read the content on the page. That is an interstitial intrusive piece of content. So more specifically, Core Web Vitals, these are user-centric metrics that Google uses to measure and quantify page experience. I won't go into detail too much more here, but it is an important aspect to, although since this rolled out in September, there are a lot of SEOs that have said, even though they've implemented a number of these specific types of optimizations, they have not seen a great deal of increase in rankings as a result. So take it for whatever it's worth. It's always good to make sure that we're considering all best practices, but we still need to make sure that page experience, which is not meant to replace content, but it should be working in tandem with the really amazing content that you do have. So what can you do right now? Improve your page load speed. So if you are on a particular type of platform, Shopify, if you're using Elementor, these are traditionally sluggish, a little bit slower. One of my favorite tools is going to Cloudflare, and if in the optimization section of Cloudflare, you can actually click on there. If you have a WordPress platform, there is a Cloudflare WordPress plugin that will help optimize. I've seen some great results from that. That's another really great thing to do. And it will also help with LCP, which is something that Google does look at more specifically. View how you use ads and images. So that's the interstitial element that I was talking to you about. Keep pop-ups and intrusive objects to a minimum. Optimize for mobile, as I said. This should be your priority. And really use your phone. Look at the whole website. understand what the experience is. There is a Google mobile friendly test. Check it out. Audit and update your content. This, I might even move this to closer to number one in terms of priorities, but you want to have a positive user experience. It comes down to content that delivers relevant on-point information to all of your audiences or your core audience. Which content is getting traffic, what's not getting traffic. Make sure that you're meeting the guidelines for EAT or YMYL, which stands for your money or your life, types of health, financial related content that you might have. Test the links. If they're broken, fix them. Review the keywords that you have that you're focused in on. Your homepage should not be home. That should not be the keyword for your homepage. Your services page should not be services. So you've got to get specific, do your keyword research, create awesome content, and make sure that you optimize it often. Make the website a safe experience for visitors. Check how safe your website is in the browsing experience. There is a security issues report in Google Search Console that you can click on, check that. If you see no problems, you've got nothing to worry about. But making it a positive, safe experience is a good thing. Compare yourself with competitors. Anytime we're working with any of our students or our clients, we're always looking at their competitors. When I'm doing a competitive analysis, I want to understand what this site has that I'm working on, I'm optimizing for. What does the competition have? If I conduct enough of that research and analysis, I can do a gap analysis to understand what content am I missing? What content is my competition missing that should be included in my site? So analyze your top competitors, find out their content quality. How does it compare to yours? If you see something ranking ahead of you, could you do something better than that? Is it even worthwhile to add something in there? Or maybe you could come at it at a different angle or a different point of view that could help even better, make it even a better piece of content. Always educate yourself on understanding what Google's guidelines are when it comes to page experience, core web vitals. Top listing in Google's organic search results is prime real estate. So if you can get 31% of all traffic compared to 24%, which is second position, 18% for spot 3. If you rank in position 10, you're getting 3% of those clicks. And for those of you who have the majority of your keywords out on page 2, those that are out on their page 2, that's your low-hanging fruit that you should be focused on. Get them to page 1 so you can start seeing the traffic coming to your website.
Hopefully you learned some of what Google considers to be important when it comes to user experience, which, as you can see, is really tied to your SEO efforts. Now, if you'd like to participate in a live SEO Q&A with me, then I'm going to encourage you to sign up to my mini SEO course, Set Up Your SEO. You can get that at setupyourseo.com. There, those members get access to a live monthly SEO Q&A without anything or about anything having to do with whatever it is in their site. Now, if you have any questions about user experience or page speed and how to optimize yours, drop a comment below and let me know.